Grandma Evelyn decided to get a divorce on her 60th birthday. Grandpa used to help out with cooking at parties. Once, after receiving 200 yuan for his help, he slapped her right in front of all the children and grandchildren. You only cooked one meal. Such a simple thing, yet you demand 200 yuan? How could you be so greedy? You've completely shamed me. Everyone in the village always said Grandpa was kind and honest, while Grandma Evelyn was stingy and calculating. After the divorce, people advised him to apologize. He scoffed, "Without me, she's nothing. She'll be back in a month tops." But Grandma Evelyn, relying on her cooking skills, moved to the city, started a successful business, and even became a popular online celebrity with millions of fans. Each advertisement brought her 100,000 yuan. Only then did Grandpa regret it and chase after her. "Evelyn, I was wrong. Please come back." On Grandma's 60th birthday, I drove 4 hours back to our hometown a day early. As soon as I arrived, I saw a large crowd in the courtyard. My Aunt Sarah and Aunt Lily's families were all there. Grandpa dragged Grandma Evelyn out of the kitchen, pushed her down, and began to punch and kick her. She hugged her head, silently enduring. He furiously yelled, "You just cooked one meal. Such a simple thing. How dare you demand 200 yuan? How could you be so wicked? You've shamed me my entire life." Grandma Evelyn's hands were covered in flour, her face smudged. "They offered to pay me themselves," she mumbled. Grandpa, enraged, snarled in front of the neighbors. "How can you be so shameless as to accept their money?" I threw the gift in my hand down and pushed through the crowd. "You old scoundrel, stop it right now." Everyone in the courtyard stared at me. Aunt Lily smiled. "Jade, you're back?" I ignored her, bent down, and helped Grandma Evelyn up. "Are you all right, Grandma?" She trembled, leaning against me, too weak to stand. Grandpa pointed at me. "It's not your place to speak here. Shut your mouth." He raised his hand, intending to hit me. I quickly raised my hand and pushed him back forcefully. At this point, people finally started to intervene. "Jade, he's still your grandpa. How can you lay a hand on an elder?" I sneered. "Only now do you speak up? Why was everyone so silent just now?" I pushed my sunglasses onto my head and yelled, "It's too noisy. I stopped considering him family a long time ago. And by the way, my name is Jade Chen." Aunt Sarah frowned, trying to reprimand me. "He's still your grandpa, no matter what." I scoffed. "This old scoundrel tried to sell me to a 50-year-old man in the village when I was 13. Whoever wants him as family can have him, I don't." When I was little, my parents were busy working and left me with my grandparents. When I was 13, I overheard Grandpa and Uncle John secretly discussing it. "Tomorrow, we'll sell her to that 50-year-old old man so her parents can have another son." That night, I didn't even have time to put on my shoes. I ran barefoot in the dark to my teacher's house for help. Thanks to her calling my parents, they immediately returned from far away to pick me up. When I brought up the old incident, Grandpa forced a laugh. "That never happened. You wicked girl, you're just talking nonsense." I gave him a cold smile. "If I'm lying, may I die a terrible death. If you deny it, may you die a terrible death. Do you dare swear it?" He dared not. Unable to beat me or curse me, he turned to my parents. "What kind of daughter have you raised?" My father lowered his head, feigning weakness. "Our daughter is grown now. I can't control her anymore." "We have to listen to her." Aunt Lily chimed in, sarcastic. "It's still better to have a son. At least my son is filial, unlike this pampered daughter of yours." My father, not bothering to be polite, retorted, "Your son is filial, you say? Has he bought you a house yet?" "My daughter bought me one. A 120-square-meter apartment overlooking a lake." Aunt Lily almost choked with anger upon hearing this. My father and I helped Grandma Evelyn into the room. She lay down on the bed, unable to get up. Through the window, I heard my father scolding Grandpa. "Father, if you have nothing to do, stop hitting my mother." Grandpa defiantly replied, "She deserves it. At Hannah's wedding, all she did was ladle soup, and she dared to ask for 200 yuan. Does she deserve that?" Grandma Evelyn's cloudy eyes stared silently out the window. For a very long time, she said nothing. I looked at her, filled with sorrow. Her life had been too difficult. She'd spent her entire life managing the household, devotedly caring for every family member. She was only allowed to cook dishes Grandpa liked, and if anything was slightly displeasing, she was beaten. It was clearly her well-deserved pay, yet Grandpa thought she didn't deserve it. "Grandma, just lie still. Let me put some medicine on you." She weakly gripped my hand. "No need, a good sleep will make it better." Grandma Evelyn's 60th birthday celebration was bustling. The living room was packed, with Grandpa holding forth among relatives, occasionally glancing at his watch and yelling towards the kitchen. "What time is it? It's almost noon and lunch isn't ready yet." Grandma Evelyn was hunched over, busy in the kitchen alone. I had just woken up to find Grandpa standing at the kitchen door, nagging incessantly. "You're just cooking rice. Why isn't such a simple task done yet?" She weakly explained, "I'm in pain, so I'm slow." Grandpa flared up. "If you're in pain, why didn't you wake up earlier? The whole living room is waiting to eat. Don't you understand anything? I've fed and clothed you your whole life, only asking for a hot meal on time every day, and you can't even manage that simple request." I realized Grandpa loved to belittle Grandma Evelyn in front of the children and grandchildren to assert his authority. Over time, even Aunt Sarah and Aunt Lily stopped respecting her. I threw the cup of milk I was holding against the wall. "You only have a 1,500 yuan pension. What makes you so arrogant? You say you've taken care of Grandma Evelyn your whole life, but it's she who has taken care of you her whole life." Grandpa angrily pointed a finger at me, not daring to hit me, instead glaring at my father. My father awkwardly avoided his gaze. "I'm relying on him for support right now. I can't say anything. My mother ran into the kitchen to help Grandma Evelyn, and I busied myself too. Everyone in the living room burst into sarcastic chatter. So many people here, yet everyone sat still like statues. Aunt Sarah and Aunt Lily angrily criticized me. "How dare you speak like that, child?" I retorted. "I don't just speak, I also act." I overturned the tea table. "Today is Grandma Evelyn's 60th birthday, not yours. You make her cook alone for over a dozen people. How thick-skinned can you be?" The whole family was in an uproar, everyone cursing me. My father stood in front of me, shielding me. "Anyone who dares touch my daughter, I'll fight to the death." I stepped into the kitchen and told Grandma Evelyn, "Grandma, let's go, I'll take you out to eat." Grandma Evelyn, who had always been so meek, put down her knife and left the kitchen with me, facing Grandpa's murderous glare. She said, "Today is my birthday, I just want to relax a little." Grandpa pointed at the main door. "Evelyn, if you walk out that door, don't ever come back." She hesitated for a moment. I squeezed her hand, giving her silent encouragement. She walked out, never looking back. I drove Grandma Evelyn to the best seafood restaurant nearby. She wore the gold necklace my mother had given her, and in her pocket was a red envelope from my father. Holding the bubble tea I bought her, her eyes twinkled with joy. She ate 2 large crabs, whispering as she ate. "Since marrying your grandpa, I've hardly ever eaten seafood. He hates the smell." Grandma Evelyn, who had married Grandpa at 18, had never eaten seafood once in her life. Tears welled up in my father's eyes. "Mother, please come live with us." She was silent for a moment, then shook her head. "He just has a difficult personality. I'm used to living with him, and I'm afraid of bothering you children." I picked up another piece of garlic lobster for her. "Grandma, you're only 60. You have decades ahead of you. Are you really going to spend those years enduring more beatings and insults?" She froze, looking at me with genuine bewilderment. "Doesn't everyone live like this?" I showed her videos of women in their 60s who were still shining in their fields. Some in their 70s and 80s bravely divorced to find a way out. She was surprised. "Can that really happen?" I replied. "Of course." She said this was the most relaxed birthday she'd ever had. In previous years, she had to cook alone in the kitchen for over 20 people. Everyone would finish eating, happily get up, and leave. Not a single person would pay her any attention. I drove Grandma Evelyn back home, trying to gently persuade her. "Grandma, let's go stay out for a few days, eat well, have some fun. It'll put me and Mom and Dad at ease. If you don't like it, I'll bring you back." She smiled and nodded, agreeing. "All right, there's nothing interesting in the countryside except the scenery." The car stopped neatly in front of the gate. Before I could even get out, I heard Widow Wang sitting with some neighbors, eating melon seeds and chatting. No wonder old man Chen is still so kind. Such an honest and good-hearted person, he even managed to get back the 200 yuan. After all these years of being neighbors, how could she demand money from him? I invited him because he cooks well. It would be rude not to pay, but if he didn't get paid, he probably wouldn't cook either. What a stingy woman. If it weren't for old man Chen, who would bother with her? These words made my blood boil. Grandma Evelyn was furious. "He always steps on me to make himself look good. He takes all the credit," I said in a low voice. "Grandma, watch me get you some justice." I ran straight into the courtyard, grabbed the bucket of manure from the corner, scooped up a ladleful, and splashed it directly onto Widow Wang. Widow Wang shrieked, seeing herself covered in manure water, and furiously lunged at me. "You rotten brat, I'll beat you to death." I kept splashing, a second ladle, a third ladle, making her flail her arms wildly and retreat continuously. "How dare you stand in front of my grandma? Don't you remember how many years you've lusted after my grandpa? Still hanging his name on your lips? If you're so good, go climb into his bed. Laughter erupted throughout the courtyard. Widow Wang had a past with my grandpa when they were younger. That was a long time ago. Now, covered in a foul smell, she couldn't stand the ridicule and fled in shame and anger. Another neighbor tried to sneak away. I splashed a ladleful on him too. Who gave you permission to leave? You're the one who invited my grandma to cook. You clearly agreed to 200 yuan and now you want it back. Do you have no shame? He tried to curse, but I splashed him directly in the face. He quickly shut his mouth, afraid of swallowing manure water. Here are 2 ladles for you. Consider it 200 yuan and we're even. He quietly scurried away. I carried the manure bucket like a warrior. My parents stood aside, clapping. Our eldest daughter is truly reliable. Mr. Six sat in the courtyard, his face dark, clearly having waited for us to return. He raised his eyelids, his voice laced with sarcasm. Why are you back? You were so grand this morning. Grandma Evelyn remained silent. Grandpa followed us in, then turned to my parents and ordered, Second son, leave the car here, don't drive off. My father was startled. What's wrong? Grandpa looked at my father disdainfully. Jason is almost dating age. Having a car makes him look better when he goes out. Anyway, your family doesn't have a son anymore. Sooner or later, everything will be his. I almost burst out laughing from anger. What an ugly toad wanting to marry a fairy. That car is mine, I bought it myself. If you want it, wait until you die and I'll burn one for you. Grandpa furiously yelled. Second son, don't talk like that. What era is this? I'm the head of this household. As for Jason, my family isn't counting on him for anything. Aunt Lily walked out, looking at us with annoyance. Don't speak so bravely. Later, when you die, no one will smash a bowl to send off your soul. My father remained indifferent. I only care about living comfortably now. My daughter's blessings are more than enough. I don't need anyone to worry about me later. Aunt Lily was silenced. Grandpa, enraged, chided, the Chen family's only hope is Jason. Go out and see which family doesn't leave their assets to their son? I immediately retorted, people who are 60 can also drink pesticide. Why don't you go drink some right now? Grandpa snatched a broom nearby and swung it at me. I dodged in time. He pointed at me, cursing, You wicked girl, you're just a girl, you'll get married eventually. The money you earn belongs to Jason. Grandma Evelyn suddenly spoke. It's a new era now. The money Jade earns belongs to Jade. There's no reason for it to belong to Jason. This was the first time Grandma Evelyn had openly defied Grandpa. Grandpa was more furious than ever, lunging and slapping her twice. She fell to the ground. I told you not to speak, so shut your mouth. I didn't wait for him to hit her again and kicked him hard, sending him flying. He rolled once on the ground, clutching his waist and moaning. I helped Grandma Evelyn up, filled with both sorrow and indignation. Grandma, how can you live like this? She buried her face in her hands, silent for a long time, not answering. Perhaps seeing him unable to get up, she realized he was only good at hitting his wife. Or perhaps she had finally reached her breaking point. She firmly stated, Let's get a divorce. The atmosphere in the courtyard instantly became tense. Grandpa was initially stunned, disbelieving, then turned furious. He scrambled up and roared, Evelyn, how have I treated you that you dare ask for a divorce? You've lived your whole life at home, eating and dressing well, without earning a single penny. I've fed and clothed you, and now you resent me? Do you have no conscience? How disgusting. A despicable old man on one hand, preventing his wife from earning money on the other hand, humiliating and trampling her for a small sum. Grandma Evelyn said nothing, but her attitude was firm. Grandpa flew into a rage, constantly questioning her. Isn't this about what happened yesterday? You just cooked a meal and demanded 200 yuan. What's wrong with me telling you to give it back? Such a small matter and you want a divorce. This isn't a small matter. The thing he stole wasn't just 200 yuan, it was Grandma Evelyn's labor, her self-respect, and her dignity, something he trampled underfoot and then gloated about. She stood still, saying nothing. Perhaps because I was there, he didn't dare lay a hand on her again. He glared. Fine, you want a divorce? Let's see how you'll live after you divorce. I have a 1,500 yuan pension. Plenty of women out there want to marry me. Didn't you beg me on your knees to come back all those years ago? I wanted to kick you out 800 years ago. Grandma Evelyn calmly said, then go live with Widow Wang. All those years ago, rumors between Grandpa and Widow Wang had spread throughout the village. At that time, Grandma Evelyn raised her children alone and did all the housework, while Grandpa did nothing at home but help Widow Wang carry water, chop wood, and do heavy labor. The two were even caught exchanging flirtatious glances in the fields. Grandpa even considered divorce. It was Grandma Evelyn who had knelt and begged him to return. That kneeling had felt like it broke her spine. Decades later, she could finally hold her head high. Grandpa's face darkened. I took the opportunity to say loudly, "If you hate Grandma Evelyn so much, go get a divorce tomorrow. I'll take her." Grandpa declared defiantly. "Divorce then, we'll divorce tomorrow." With things reaching this point, Uncle John and Aunt Sarah both appeared. Uncle John grumbled, "Mother, just apologize to Father and get it over with. We still need to save face. At your age, what's with this divorce drama?" Aunt Sarah was also impatient. Not divorcing sooner, not divorcing later, but choosing now. Divorcing back then would have earned respect, but now that you're old, it's just a joke. Grandma Evelyn's eyes were red, looking at Aunt Sarah with deep disappointment. She pressed her lips together tightly. The youngest uncle directly cursed, "You crazy old woman. Amy and our family is about to get engaged. If Mother divorces, who will dare marry her?" Even my father didn't approve, but spoke more gently. "Mother, just come live with us. That's enough. No need to make a big fuss." All the children and grandchildren tried to stop her. I understood. They were afraid if Grandma Evelyn left, no one would take care of Grandpa. Grandma Evelyn trembled with anger. I quickly took her hand. "Grandma, calm down. Just say everything you feel." She slowly straightened her back. I saw her life hardening, breaking through decades of meekness. "Don't you children get beaten and cursed every day? I've endured such an abusive life for decades. If I don't divorce, I'll die here." Aunt Sarah turned away, red-eyed. My father sighed, seemingly tacitly agreeing. Aunt Lily rushed out again. "Let me say this first. Divorce or not, don't expect our family to support you. If you get sick later, don't come to us asking for money." Grandma Evelyn had no salary, no insurance, and Aunt Lily was afraid of having to take care of her. I coolly replied, "I'll take care of Grandma Evelyn, you don't need to worry." I led Grandma Evelyn to find the household registration book in the house, then told Grandpa, "Tomorrow at 9 a.m., we'll meet at the Civil Affairs office." Finally, Grandma Evelyn held the divorce papers in her hand. Standing in the sunlight, she held the paper high, a smile spreading from the corners of her eyes. I took a picture of her, an image of rebirth. A 60-year-old woman, her first words after holding the divorce papers were, "Finally, I don't have to serve anyone anymore." She felt like she had broken free from chains, her whole body light. Meanwhile, Grandpa sat on the ground amidst the crowd at the Civil Affairs office, cursing incessantly. Grandma Evelyn didn't even glance at him. When she got into the car, she intended to go back to pack her belongings. I waved my hand. "What do you need those old things for? I'll buy you all new clothes." She smiled happily, eagerly looking at my mother's phone, browsing shopping apps. The car rolled down the road, flanked by lush green vegetable fields. A bird soared across the field. She pointed at the bird and said, "I want to be as free as that bird." I brought her to live with me in the city. She didn't want to be idle, so I took her to my company and hired her to cook for the employees. She worried, "Can I do it? Maybe someone else should." She had been trampled by Grandpa for so long that she was afraid even doing well would become a burden to me. I encouraged her. "You can do it, Grandma. Don't worry, just be bold and do your best. You'll cook 2 meals a day, and I'll pay you 6,000 yuan a month." Grandma Evelyn gasped in astonishment. 6,000 yuan was a sum she hadn't even dared to dream of. The highest salary she had ever seen was Grandpa's 1,500 yuan pension. She repeatedly waved her hands. No, I don't need payment." I took her thin shoulders and said sincerely, "You deserve it. You've always been so self-deprecating, always thinking you're worthless. I want you to understand how precious your cooking skills are in the eyes of others." My e-commerce company was a small team, only 6 people, but it brought in about 100,000 yuan in profit each month. On Grandma Evelyn's first day of work, a small elderly woman, she didn't attract any attention. My colleagues weren't optimistic about me hiring her to cook. The photographer and editor even secretly ordered takeout. At lunchtime, Grandma Evelyn brought out a pot of red braised goose, fragrant golden corn cakes, and several hot stir-fried vegetable dishes. The young people in the company ate without lifting their heads. I looked at the photographer and editor, eyes crinkling in amusement. "Stewed chicken and pork ribs with rice aren't as good anymore, huh?" The two chewed on goose meat and complained. "Sister Jade, why didn't you invite Grandma Evelyn to join us sooner?" I just smiled and said nothing. Grandma Evelyn was constantly called by the young people. "Grandma, your food is so delicious. Grandma, I've fallen in love with you." She smiled so much her dentures showed. I looked at her contented expression, finally feeling a sense of relief. Before, she cooked 3 meals a day for Grandpa, only to receive criticism and scolding. Now, cooking for these young people, she received both a salary and love and respect. These were things Grandpa had never given her in his entire life. Grandpa, holding his 1,500 yuan pension, ran to Aunt Sarah's house, demanding she support him. Aunt Sarah and Uncle Jiang had already had several arguments. He had left Grandma Evelyn but continued to party and drink as before. Aunt Sarah lasted a week before she couldn't take it anymore. She called me, her voice full of exasperation. "Your grandma just up and left. Did she consider how he would live? What will the children think?" Aunt Sarah said everyone advised Grandpa to apologize, but he remained stubborn, thinking Grandma Evelyn couldn't survive without him, even declaring, "Without me, she's nothing. She'll be back in a month tops." Aunt Sarah was furious on the phone. "I understand he's trying to gauge Grandma Evelyn's intentions," I said. "You couldn't stand living with him for half a month. What about Grandma Evelyn? She endured him for 40 years and now she's 60. Shouldn't she get to live a good life?" "Do you want your mother to continue living a life of 3 beatings a day?" The phone fell into an eerie silence. Aunt Sarah said nothing more and hung up. Laughter echoed behind me. I turned to see Grandma Evelyn holding a small cake given by the editor, eating it with a happy smile. A group of young people looked at her braised pork hock with eyes as if they had never seen such a marvel. "Grandma, this dish is truly a masterpiece. Grandma, with you here, we finally feel life is worth living." Grandma Evelyn had just found a good life. I absolutely would not allow anyone to drag her back into that mud pit. Grandma Evelyn worked very seriously, remembering the sincere praise of the young people every day. She became more and more radiant. An idea struck me. I would film Grandma Evelyn cooking for the company employees. The photographer and operations manager looked displeased. "Boss, aren't you worried about operations? Is the new product finalized? Is the supply chain ready?" I pretended not to care. "I'm just filming for fun, to make Grandma Evelyn happy. You guys go on with your work." I created a separate social media account for Grandma Evelyn and named it Grandma Evelyn Feeds Her Pigs Today. In the beginning, the video updates didn't gain much traction. Unexpectedly, a few days later, a video of her spicy stir-fried meat with rice exploded. 100,000 likes, 10 million views. The comments were full of praise for the delicious food. Some even jokingly begged to be her pigs. I read every comment to her, wanting her to know that cooking was not a worthless task. She sat on a rattan chair on the balcony, a gentle smile on her lips, as if all the regrets of her life were being soothed by strangers. Grandpa had once boasted, "She'll come back begging me in less than a month." Yet, more than 2 months had passed, and Grandma Evelyn was living extremely happily, no longer remembering him at all. My mother called, her voice full of glee. "Child, your Aunt Sarah is about to get a divorce." Grandpa had gone to Aunt Sarah's to demand she support him, but she had given all of his 1,500 yuan pension to Uncle John. At Aunt Sarah's house, Grandpa was still constantly nitpicking and yelling, throwing Aunt Sarah's entire household into chaos. My mother said that old man was worthless, and now he was even fabricating rumors that Grandma Evelyn was having an affair, saying she was seeing another old man. The rumors spread throughout the village, and Aunt Lily couldn't stay quiet either, reaching out to my mother and me. I hung up and checked the family chat group. Sure enough, it was full of criticism and blame directed at Grandma Evelyn. Everyone claimed Grandpa's miserable life was her fault. Ha, an old man over 60 still demanding to be taken care of like an unweaned baby. I turned to Grandma Evelyn and filmed a video, then posted it to the family group. That day happened to be Mother's Day, and several young people in the company gathered to wish her. "Happy Mother's Day, Grandma." She held a large bouquet of flowers in her arms, so moved she almost shed tears. It was the first time in her life she had received flowers. I sent another voice message. "Grandma Evelyn isn't looking for any old men. If anything, countless young men are fond of her." The family chat group was silent for a moment, then exploded. I immediately turned off my phone, ignoring them. They said nothing, but when I spoke up for Grandma Evelyn, each and every one of them jumped out to object. What a disgrace. Grandma Evelyn learned very quickly. A 60-year-old rural woman began learning to watch short videos, watching to learn new dishes. I watched as my colleagues became rosier and plumper. The editor changed her shirt size from M to L, and the operations manager even stopped talking about quitting. Even if I stayed up until 3 a.m. analyzing data, The next morning, I dragged myself to the company just for lunch. I found that with increased benefits, employees were not only not lazy, but worked even harder to help me make money, afraid that if the company failed, no one would cook for them anymore. Last year's net profit was 1 million yuan. After Grandma Evelyn joined the company, in just 2 months, I earned as much as the entire previous year. The operations manager, in particular, finally agreed to teach me advertising techniques. He patted his round belly and said, "I'm only teaching you out of respect for Grandma Evelyn." I nodded repeatedly. "Thank you for your hard work." That evening, the table was laden with seafood. Despite hearing various rumors from the countryside, Grandma Evelyn ate with great enjoyment. One day, she unexpectedly asked me, "I'm so old, isn't it shameful to get a divorce?" I sprang up from the bed. "Grandma, why would you think that? It's your life, no one else can live it for you. Do you find living like this happier or living with Grandpa?" She answered firmly. "Of course now is better." I continued, "When you were beaten and scolded, did any of them stand up to help you?" She shook her head. "Who would want to interfere in someone's family matters?" "Exactly," I said. "What does your life have to do with them?" Grandma Evelyn smiled brightly. A thought suddenly flashed in my mind. I have asterisked to make a video for Grandma Evelyn. The next day, she was very nervous. I reassured her. "It's okay, Grandma, just cook and talk." The video, "A 60-year-old woman divorces and starts a new life," was posted on a normal weekday and exploded. In the video, Grandma Evelyn gently recounted her marriage. "I love seafood, but in 40 years of marriage, I never got to eat it because my husband didn't like it." Grandma Evelyn's story was captivating and controversial. Some men cursed her for abandoning her husband in old age, as if she had been oppressed by Grandpa her whole life and wasn't allowed to fight back. But many women understood. After suffering for so many years, she finally gets to be herself. The video went viral, and the account grew to 300,000 followers. I received my first collaboration offer. They wanted to promote a product while the video was hot. One advertisement paid 100,000 yuan. I refused. This account isn't meant for making money just yet. Grandpa stayed at Aunt Sarah's house for 2 months, almost causing Aunt Sarah and Uncle Jiang to divorce. Uncle Jiang was so annoyed that he chased Grandpa to Uncle John's house. Uncle Jiang even stated directly in the family group, "I'm not taking care of that old man anymore. He's a Chen, I'm a Jiang, we're not related." All the money and the house went to his son. Now he's demanding his daughters take care of him. What kind of sense does that make? Aunt Sarah said nothing, silently leaving the group. Only Aunt Lily continued to loudly scold. I thought to myself, Grandpa's misfortunes were just beginning, while Grandma Evelyn was living happier and happier. A KOL with 5 million followers saw Grandma Evelyn's divorce video and requested an interview. I asked for her opinion and helped her accept the interview. We scheduled it for a beautiful sunny afternoon, with the interviewer specially taking a high-speed train to meet her. Grandma Evelyn didn't want to go anywhere else, so the interview was held in the company's lounge. After a few greetings, the interview began. Grandma Evelyn faced the unfamiliar interviewer but spoke gently and calmly. "I decided to divorce on my 60th birthday. I was married for over 40 years, my whole life revolved around my husband and children. Even drinking water was scrutinized. I did all the housework, and if I ate an extra bite, I'd be severely scolded. For 40 years, I never felt happy. Everything I did, I had to think first. Will saying this, doing this, get me scolded?" He was very good at blaming others, bringing up every trivial matter to shift the blame. Over time, I felt useless, worthless. For a while, I was very miserable, feeling like I had no value, like I was redundant in this world. But looking around, everyone seemed to live like that. It's just that my husband's temper was worse than others. She spoke very calmly in front of the camera. I stood behind the screen, tears streaming down my face. I lived like a free slave. That day, my granddaughter read me a line from a book that I found very true. Marriage is a way for men to acquire a legal slave. On the day of my divorce, I felt free, free like a bird. Even if I died, I wanted to die outside. The interviewer gently asked, "So, how has your life changed after the divorce?" Hearing this, Grandma Evelyn smiled. "It's changed a lot. Before, my cooking was always criticized. Many times I knew he was deliberately looking for trouble to scold me. But now everyone praises my cooking. They praise it all day long." The interviewer smiled. "I've seen your account. Your cooking is truly delicious. So now you're not just paid, but also recognized and respected, right?" She nodded. Yes, yes, you have a good way with words. Before, I used to think I couldn't do anything, wasn't good at anything. Now I'm learning to type, watching videos to learn new dishes. I feel like I can learn anything. The interview lasted almost 2 hours. During those 2 hours, Grandma Evelyn recounted all the humiliations of her life. Swayed by unknown instigators, Grandpa came directly to the company. He stood outside the door, yelling, "Evelyn, come out here." The employees rushed out, each standing behind Grandma Evelyn like bodyguards. Grandpa's ferocious face immediately softened. He mumbled a few words, then said, "That's enough, go home." Grandma Evelyn calmly replied, "We're divorced." Grandpa started playing tricks. "It doesn't count, you've lived with me for decades. If you're not my wife, what are you?" He acted generously. "Go home, I'll give you half a month's pension, 1,500 yuan. Grandma Evelyn turned her face away, showing disdain. I chuckled mockingly. Grandma Evelyn now earns 6,000 yuan a month. One advertising video even gets 100,000. Grandpa heard this and looked as if the sky had fallen. He couldn't accept that Grandma Evelyn could earn money. Just cooking, how can she earn 6,000 yuan? We all looked at him with sarcasm. I called security to escort him out. He was held by the shoulders and pulled outside, still angrily cursing me. "You wicked girl, I'm your grandpa." I didn't bother to turn back. "When you die, I'll go to your grave and, well, you know." After work, I called my mother to briefly tell her what happened. My mother chuckled. "He deserves it, that old man. At Aunt Lily's house, he tried to hit people and her son and grandson hit him back. Aunt Lily won't tolerate it. Now even leftover food and soup are thrown at him. Remember to tell Grandma Evelyn not to soften up. If she goes back, she'll just get beaten again." I replied, "I know Grandma Evelyn doesn't want to go back. Grandpa's suffering is his own making." The video by the 5 million follower influencer was published and exploded. The Grandma Evelyn feeds her pigs today. Account soared from 300,000 followers to 700,000. Aunt Lily also saw the video and called me. After a few polite words, I grew impatient. "Aunt Lily, just say what you want." Aunt Lily stammered. "Grandma Evelyn, did she really get 100,000 yuan for one video?" I gave a cold laugh. "What does that have to do with you? You used to call Grandma Evelyn useless. Don't cling to her now." Without waiting for her to say more, I hung up. I knew Aunt Lily wasn't a simple person, but I didn't expect her to act so quickly. The next day, Aunt Lily brought Grandpa to the company to cause a scene. Grandpa held a bouquet of flowers in his hand, hurriedly telling Grandma Evelyn, "Evelyn, I know I was wrong, please come back." Unfortunately, now Grandma Evelyn didn't even want to hear a word from him. Aunt Lily let out a cold, displeased huff. Grandpa, like a trained old dog, plopped down on his knees, weeping and pleading with Grandma Evelyn. "Evelyn, come back. If you don't, I can't live." I smirked. "What kind of show is this?" Grandma Evelyn was coldly resolute. "If I go back with you, I won't be able to live." Seeing Grandpa's futility, Aunt Lily beat her thigh and wailed, "Oh heaven, life is so unfair. Which mother-in-law isn't taken care of by her daughter-in-law at home? This wicked girl saw her mother-in-law making money and brought her home to live. How ungrateful. Breaking up a marriage for money will be struck by lightning." Grandma Evelyn furiously yelled, "Aunt Lily, do you think everyone's foolish? Before you all saw me as a burden, everyone was afraid I'd cling to them for food. Now don't come looking for me, I only follow Jade. I won't accept anyone else." Aunt Lily's expression changed, and she coldly threatened, "If you don't come back, I'll sue her. I don't believe there's no justice in this world." I suppressed a sarcastic laugh. "Go ahead and sue. Let's see which law supports you." Before, Aunt Lily had adamantly refused to support Grandma Evelyn simply because Grandpa had a pension and Grandma Evelyn had nothing, fearing she would become a burden. Now, seeing her make money, she was back to causing trouble. I added fuel to the fire. "Oh, and by the way, that 700,000 follower account, it's registered under *my ID. Even if you sue, you won't get anything." I called security to escort the two of them out. Grandpa cried and refused to leave, sincerely begging Grandma Evelyn, "Evelyn, please come back with me, please." After chasing them out of the company, I looked around the office, thinking it was time for a change of location. I quickly found a new workspace. It was near the subway station and even had a sunny rooftop. Grandma Evelyn arranged the rooftop with all sorts of flowers, plants, and greenery. Just looking at it brought a sense of peace. My mother told me that Aunt Lily had consulted a lawyer about the money matter, and the results were probably not what she expected, so now she was taking all her anger out on Grandpa. He didn't dare sit at the same table to eat, waiting only for everyone else to finish before eating their leftovers. Whenever Aunt Lily was unhappy, he would get a few slaps. Now he was like a trained old dog at Aunt Lily's house, not daring to act arrogant at all. I gradually helped Grandma Evelyn take on a few decent advertisement deals. In half a year, she earned over 1,000,000 yuan. I discussed with her, wanting to use the money to buy a house in her name. She firmly refused. "You keep that money, child. If the house is in my name, your aunt's side will never be at peace." I smiled, listened to her, and didn't buy a house. Instead, I opened a bank account for her, set up a fixed-term deposit, and told her how much interest she would earn each month. Grandma Evelyn's eyes lit up. "My monthly interest is more than Grandpa's pension now," I nodded reassuringly. "You're much more capable than him, Grandma." Grandma Evelyn smiled contentedly. Grandma Evelyn's 61st birthday was held at a 5-star seafood restaurant. The entire family gathered to celebrate, except for Uncle John's family, who weren't invited. Yet Aunt Lily still brought Grandpa along. He was shabbily dressed, old, and disheveled. He huddled in a corner, not daring to say anything. Every now and then, Grandma Evelyn would glance over, and he would mumble, "If you won't come back, I just came to see you." She nodded, not paying him any mind. Her entire being was like an ancient tree sprouting new green shoots. Over the past year, being around the young people in the office had made her spirit youthful again. The girls even gave her cosmetics and taught her how to coordinate outfits. In just 1 year, she looked at least 10 years younger. Standing next to Grandpa, they looked like two different generations. I raised the first toast, loudly wishing, "Happy birthday, Grandma Evelyn." May every year be like this year and every day like today. Tears welled up in her eyes. Last year, she had been silently in the kitchen, alone, preparing meals for dozens of people, and no one had valued her. Now she just had to stand there without needing to please anyone. All the children and grandchildren vied to show their filial piety. Grandpa sat in the corner, watching Grandma Evelyn beam, tears silently falling from his eyes. She slowly raised her wine glass. Living to this age, I finally understand one thing: it's never too late to be yourself.